Hello one and all, my name is Ryan Bruce. My friends call me Fluff, and today on Riffs, Beards, and Gear, we check out the brand new Mark VII amplifier from Mesa Boogie. If you had to define Mesa Boogie by a single amplifier series, it would probably be the Mark series amplifiers. The Mark series amplifiers have grown and evolved along with the company. And yes, Mesa Boogie has put out a lot of other amplifiers. However, I think Mesa Boogie will always be remembered and most known for the Mark series amplifiers, both in terms of tone and the artists that played them. Well, today we are going to check out the Mesa Boogie Mark VII. Now, before we go any further, this isn't really a sponsored video. I have worked with Mesa Boogie for many, many years. I was an artist of theirs, and I am very passionate about Mesa Boogie amplifiers. This is a loaner amp. This is actually, in fact, a prototype amp, which is production spec, and this will go back to them after I am done making this video for you guys, and all thoughts and opinions are mine. Now, first things first, you're probably thinking to yourself, did I miss a Mark VI? Was there a Mark VI? There wasn't really a Mark VI. Now, there was a prototype Mark VI, and Randall Smith and company were working on the amplifier so long that really when they got done with it, they really felt like they had gone leaps and bounds further than just a single generation of the Mark series, and Randall just liked the sound of the Mark VII. That's the official story. However, I suspect it also has something to do with the fact that Randall Smith turned 77 this year. So be that as it may, no, you did not miss the release of an entire Mark series amplifier. They just skipped one, and they can do that. Now, the Mesa Boogie Mark VII is a 3-channel amplifier. Each channel has 3 different modes. There's, of course, the Mark style graphic EQ, as well as per channel reverb dials, which is found right here on the front panel. And on the back panel, you will also find an 8-channel cab clone IR system that you can load a different cabinet per channel. So you get 8 impulses per each of the 3 channels, and you can utilize them via the XLR out on the back. Now, the name of the game for the Mark VII is don't have anything that is really unnecessary, and you will find that all of the controls that you really need are on the front, and there are no push-pull pots at all, and there's no master volume. Randall Smith really wanted just the purest signal possible and didn't want anything that wasn't really necessary for the sake of tone, and you can hear it right when you plug into this thing. Now, of the 3 channels of the Mark VII, the first channel is where the clean tones will live in addition to a crunch channel, which we will talk about in just a second. Channel 2 is the Mark VII tones. All 3 modes are Mark VII in flavor. And finally, channel 3 is the classic channel where you can access Mark IIB tones, Mark IIC tones, and Mark IV tones. You guys know how I feel about Mark IV. Now, something to note, which I find is pretty interesting for this Mark VII, is the amount of overlap between all 3 channels. For example, the clean channel is very, very clean. The fat mode is my favorite of the clean tones. However, there is a crunch mode. Then on channel 2, there is also a crunchy mode as well. So if you want to back off and have a lighter crunch on channel 1 and a heavier crunch tone on channel 2, you can do that. And the 2B mode on channel 3 is also pretty crunchy and not as crazy gained out as the 2C and the Mark IV mode. So there's a lot of overlap and just a lot of flexibility, and the 3 channels really work together to just bring you literally whatever tone you want. Now, other bells and whistles on the Mark VII include full MIDI capability and simulclass, which is automatic in this case, so it will step down depending on the wattage that you have selected per each of the 3 channels. And each of the 3 channels can be selected from 90 to 45 to 25 watts, depending on whatever you're in the mood for. Let's go ahead and just twist some knobs and hang out a little bit and do a little bit of a playthrough. I will be switching to my 2012 Gibson Les Paul Custom. And the reason why I'm gonna switch to this custom is it has Fluence Willie Adler pickups in them, and I will be in the passive mode. Essentially, I will be using a Duncan JB pickup in flavor, okay? So that will give you some sort of reference to the guitar sound going into the Mesa Boogie. This is gonna be a little bit more rounded, a little bit more low-endy, and much less attack and metal than my Fluence pickup, for example, okay? So Gibson Les Paul Custom, straight in to the Mark VII for the playthrough. Let's do it. All right, so let's wrap this up. What do I think? How does this sound for those of you who are already owning a Mark V or a JP2C or any other Mark series amplifier? I would consider this the greatest hits Mark amplifier, if I'm totally honest. This cops exactly the tones that I love and have my Mesa Boogie Mark IV amplifier for. The 2C Plus mode, I can't comment. I've only played just a handful, a teeny tiny amount of 2C Pluses. This has that sauce though, okay? This is a Swiss Army knife even more so than the other previous iterations. This is not fizzy. This is not boxy like a JP2C, as for an example, and I love my JP2C. This clean tone that this amplifier has is incredible. There's just a lot of low end, there's a lot of kick, there's a lot of grunt, there's no fizz anywhere, and I never feel like I have to have an overdrive in front of this amp in order to play something tight and percussive. I have spent the better part of just over a week by the time you guys see this with this amplifier. It is absolutely stunning. This is a masterpiece and a legacy, representative of a legacy that Randall Smith can absolutely be proud of. All applicable links down below in the description. I will link to full information and full features and specs of the Mark VII. And with that, you've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.